Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another month of Plat Gaming, and we are back into the comfortable world of Street Fighter 6 covering A.K.I.
You thought I had money in there. Too bad. This is my fabulous collection of poison.
Now, A.K.I is the student of a character from the previous game, Fang. Both A.K.I and Fang are spelled like acronyms. Fang's acronym is apparently Fantastic Asian Notorious Gang, which doesn't make any sense, so there's just no way that's true, but that's what Wikipedia says. And A.K.I has no official meaning just yet. Maybe they'll release it in the future. Now, A.K.I is a very strange character because she has a mechanic that is unique to her and not necessarily a meter or a resource. Like, for example, Kimberly has a unique resource in her cans, and Manon and Jamie have the medals and drinks, but that's all resources. A.K.I has poison, which whenever she hits a move that inflicts poison, it slowly drains life from the opponent. Now, this can't kill. It can bring them down to 1 HP, cannot kill, and if A.K.I takes damage, the poison is immediately nullified. So that makes A.K.I super unique.
Round one. Fight.
For A.K.I's story, now, being a student of Fang, that means she does, small jobs for Fang. And Fang, of course, is a member, or former member, since they've been disbanded, of Shadowloo. So A.K.I has been tasked with investigating JP and sort of reminding him who he works for. Because, of course, JP was the treasurer of Shadowloo. Keep in mind, when A.K.I came out, A.K.I was the second DLC character. Bison had not come out yet. Ed had also not come out yet. So now, fast forward to present day, Shadowloo stands in sort of 2 or 3 different factions of Shadowloo. You have Bison and Fang trying to do like old Shadowloo. Bison's going to Sagat and stuff like that. You have Ed, who's making a good Shadowloo. He's talking to Balrog, he's working with Falk, I don't know, and working with a bunch of victims of Shadowloo to try and make a good, good out of the bad scenario. And JP is sort of a unknown operator. A.K.I or Fang suggests that he has something to do with Ed, but in Ed's story mode, we don't really see any evidence of that. As of right now, everything JP is doing, both in Fatal Fury, and because JP's in Fatal Fury as well, Nashal, everything, we don't really know why he's doing it. I mean, maybe he's just wants world domination, generic villain. It's not like Street Fighter's a masterpiece or anything of storytelling, but we don't really know what makes him tick just yet. And A.K.I being a completely new character and being DLC, she doesn't have a super huge story. Her background is just that she was an orphan that got picked up by Fang. She learned the art of poison and like a weird, super flexible Chinese fighting style martial art. I'm sure it has an actual name, but I think it's either like snake or crane style or something like that. Is that Kung Fu? I don't know. It's very strange, it's very weird, and it fits Fang very well, and it definitely fits A.K.I.
Round two. Fight.
For special moves, our first special move is Nightshade Pulse. Now, this is A.K.I.'s bread and butter. It's a little projectile. This is quarter circle back light punch. And it has to be light punch, because medium punch and heavy punch will give you a different move. She can also do a little extender if she does the projectile input and then does forward punch, light, medium, heavy, doesn't matter, she'll do a little, she'll throw out a little whip, and it'll pop the bubble, it'll hit the enemy if the enemy is in the bubble. And if the enemy's poisoned, I believe it gives a little launch, I believe. So you might be able to drive rush and do something. Quarter circle back medium punch places a little puddle of poison. So what you'll often see is, this is used in the corner a lot, if you get a big down on an enemy, you have a lot of frames of Oki, you can do a little frame trap, not a trap, a frame kill, but still accomplish something useful by putting down a little puddle. So as soon as they wake up, they're instantly poisoned, right? And that can be used to bait things. Obviously, people don't like being pressured in the corner, so they might see that puddle and go, okay, no matter what happens, I'm waking up and I'm I know damage will get rid of the poison. I'll wake up and I'll DP or I'll drive reversal or something like that, right? So it's a lot of mind games. You're managing that poison. Health is a resource. A lot of pressure, because that's A.K.I.'s main. Pressure is A.K.I.'s playground. And then quarter circle back heavy punch is Toxic Wreath. And this is a little bubble. She does a huge slash, a bubble appears, and it blows up. If they aren't poisoned, they become poisoned. If they are poisoned, it launches. So you can juggle state, extend the combo. This is mostly going to be a combo ender. Range isn't crazy. It's not going to anti-air. It's unsafe on block. So this is a combo ender. It does a good amount of damage. Great Oki. If they're already poisoned, it launches, meaning you can extend. You're gonna be working this into combos rather than initiating or doing any sort of utility. And then quarter circle back enhanced. Any two punches, medium heavy, light medium, doesn't matter. You get an enhanced bubble that can just take a hit. So what you'll often see for A.K.I. gameplay, if you watch a lot, is enhanced bubble into drive rush, because A.K.I.s will go behind that bubble. If the enemy throws a projectile, the bubble will eat it. If the enemy tries to check your drive rush, they get poisoned, and then you can do something because it's counter hit. That's going to be A.K.I.'s sort of bread and butter pressure is bubble, drive rush, bubble, drive rush, bubble, drive rush. Now, quarter circle forward punch is Serpent Lash. Now, this is a very good move. This is sort of where the bubble is A.K.I.'s like bread and butter get in move. This is going to be sort of utility hotspot. Light is just a straight check at medium range. It kind of looks like that the move where you throw out the bubble and then send your whip out to pop it. Imagine just the whip coming out, but no bubble. That's what the light version looks like. Medium version is sort of a diagonal anti-air. That is good if you're unsure the distance on an anti-air. So let's say an Akuma jumps and throws out a fireball. That sort of, the scenario you're imagining right there is a perfect Serpent Lash medium punch. Because this also is an anti-air and it poisons. The quarter circle heavy punch is straight up. This is going to be, if they kind of go for cross-ups or, the jump is definitively above you, you do the heavy one. And it does a good amount of damage, it poisons. Serpent Lash is definitely your go-to utility. Also, I believe the medium punch now, I think this is not in release, but I think it now, if they're poisoned and you hit the medium punch version of Serpent Lash, because it used to just be the heavy, I believe it's a juggle state, and if they're on the ground, it's a crumble. I believe. The enhanced version of this is actually very interesting. It's kind of like a Scorpion, get over here-esque move. Doesn't go full screen. mostly used as a combo extender. If you do it on block, it's probably unsafe. I would assume it's unsafe because it pulls you in, right? So it doesn't go through projectiles. It's just a good combo extender. Quarter circle back kick, we have Cruel Fate. Now this is Aki leaps in the air and does a bunch of jabs, right? So the light, medium, and heavy version of this are all unsafe. Okay, they're all unsafe. You do it, they block it, you're getting punched. This goes over lows. So if they're doing a bunch of crouching medium kicks at range, you might be able to surprise them with this. This goes over projectiles sometimes. It's kind of like Hooligan, you know, for Cammy, where sometimes Hooligan goes over, sometimes it doesn't. It's not super consistent. Aki definitely has better ways to deal with projectiles. But, you know, more options, I guess. Now, the enhanced version of this is safe. So, if the enemy does, you know, if you do it, you know, accidentally, something like that, the enemy punishes it, maybe you can get away with doing the enhanced version, and they see the move and they're like, okay, it's my turn now, and then they get surprised when the enhanced version is safe. Now, the enhanced version actually has two separate, if you hit them in the air, it works like the other Cruel Fates, where it's just a bunch of jabs. If you hit them standing and not blocking, it's sort of a grapple. Keep in mind, this is not a command grab. Okay, this is not a command grab. It doesn't go through blocks. It has a special animation, you know. It's a weird move. It's, again, like a lot of Aki's moves, it's mostly combo extender. Because weirdly, it doesn't look like it would, but it does fit in the middle of combos. Now, quarter circle forward kick is snake step. This is your get out of there, or get in there, I guess. It's better for get out of there. The different, you know, light kick, medium kick, heavy kick, that just gives you more range on your snake step. What happens is Aki she goes prone and just slithers forward. Goes under fireballs. It probably doesn't go under Sagat's low fireball, and it definitely gets hit by Jury's and Terry's fireball. It can duck mediums, or mids, sorry. It can duck mids, it can duck highs. But the reason it's an escape is because the enhanced version, it swaps sides, and it's very fast. So if you get that corner pressure, it might be best to, you know, wake up Snake Step EX and just get out of the corner, because now the enemy's in the corner, right? You don't get any damage off it though, so it's not like a normal, you know, DP or something like that. Also, it's worth noting the light version of the move basically has no range, to the point where I think you just stand still, and can be used to bait out attacks. Especially when combined with the next move, which is down 2 punches. It's called Sinister Slide, right? Because this is also, Aki goes on the ground and starts slithering, but this works more like a stance than Snake Step. Out of Sinister Slide, if you click Punch, you get Venomous Fang. If you click Kick, you get Heel Strike. And if you do Light Punch, Light Kick, you get Entrapment, which is a grab. So Venomous Fang, this goes through projectiles, and is, I think, Aki's best way to deal with projectiles, aside from just throwing a projectile herself. This goes through projectiles, it poisons the enemy. If the enemy's already poisoned, it results in a rolling state that you can drive, rush, and pick up for a combo. It's unsafe. It's unsafe, so don't go throwing this out willy-nilly. If they block it, you're getting hurt bad, okay? The kick, heel strike, this is safe, okay? So you're going to be doing this mid-combo, to extend the combo, to get damage. If they're... I don't know if it's still infinite, but if they're burned out, A.K.I has like a very nuts block string where the enemy just kind of has to sit there and take it. This is also an ability, by the way, so in Burnout this will chip. And Entrapment is a grab, okay? If the enemy's poisoned, now I'm not sure about this one, so you might want to do your own research. With Entrapment, right, if the enemy's poisoned, this move does a lot of damage. And I don't know if that's because the grab does more damage if the enemy's poisoned, or if the poison damage is still ticking. I know it's still ticking, and it just makes it seem like the grab does more damage. Because it does the normal amount of grab, 10% damage, but with the poison makes it seem like it's 20%. And I don't know if that is because the poison is enhancing it, or if for the duration of the grab, the poison's still ticking, so it effectively does 20% damage. Of course, this is, like with a lot of stance moves, this is just changing up your options. So, the enemy has to decide, if you do Sinister Slide, are you going to do your kicks? Are you going to do your grab? Are you going to do nothing? Because you can cancel the slide by holding up. And of course, you can even fake it with Snake Step, right? So A.K.I is just a very tricky character. And it's made even worse where opponents very likely aren't playing against a lot of A.K.Is, so they don't know what she can do. And because everybody in this game plays Shotos, you know exactly what they can do. And it's just sort of, using that knowledge as a lever. Now for A.K.I's super attacks, her first super attack is double quarter circle forward kick, and it's Deadly Implication. This is her wake up reversal. If you're getting pressured in the corner, you want that to stop, you do your level 1. Does it anti-air? Because she does kick upwards. Maybe inconsistently. I wouldn't rely on it for that, especially since A.K.I, she has such good anti-air options. It also poisons, right? Like a lot of A.K.I's moves, it poisons. Her level 2, this is double quarter circle back punch. This is Tainted Talons. This is a really weird move. It has different distances. And she extends a bunch of talons. Every talon does damage, and then it explodes. And where it explodes, that leaves a pool of poison, kind of like the medium punch version of the bubble. It leaves a poison, right? If the opponent walks into that, they get poisoned. If they get hit by it, they get poisoned. This is a good anti-air, because the talons go up and then down. So if an enemy jumps, and it's not a safe jump, or they're just jumping in, you can do this on reaction, and it will anti-air. It works in the middle of combos. Juggle states, feel free to do this. It's a good level 2. A.K.I is by no means an Ed or Rashid style, level 2 merchant. But it is a good option that will see some use depending on the situation. And then A.K.I's level 3 / her critical art is the Claws of Yaji.
We shall increase the dosage to a fatal degree. Farewell.
Nothing special here. You know, it doesn't anti-air. It's invincible on wake up. I think it goes through projectiles. It's not going full screen like Cammy. But I think it has a similar sort of range to, I think it's Chun-Li's super move, where she just kind of goes through the projectile. Again, Aki's very good at dealing with projectiles, so, you know, it's absolutely an option to do it on reaction. That's double quarter circle forward punch. She does a bunch of pressure point, you know, manipulation, inject poison, detonates. Weirdly, right, despite all the you know, time she stabs you and everything, does not poison. It does not poison. Even the critical art version does not poison. Now, these aren't special moves. These are just some unique things that I think you should be aware of when using Aki. Aki has an overhead. So if you want to do drive rush overhead, that's absolutely an option. Her forward heavy kick is freaking really good. It's forward advancing, double hits, can be drive impacted, so don't go crazy with it. And it's safe, right? Doesn't need to be properly safe. You can do it in somebody's face. It's safe. She has a really, really insane cross-up hit by pressing down heavy punch on a forward jump. Really good like, if you're in the corner, don't be afraid to jump over their head and do down heavy punch, right? And because it's a heavy attack, if it counter hits, you probably get a combo on the other side. She has 2 target combos, light punch, and heavy punch, heavy punch. Light punch is really good. It can be canceled. It's very fast. If they try and DI it, you will have more than enough time to DI back. That also, combined with her crouching light punches, it's like very quick. It's super quick. Her heavy punch, you're going to see it a lot in my gameplay because I'm a freaking scrub. Her heavy punch target combo is not very good. It doesn't do a lot of damage. It does poison. And if they're already poisoned, it does launch. It's not very good, though. It just, like, she has better options for damage. Like, this doesn't do that much damage unless they're poisoned because it launches. It has good range, absolutely, but I just feel like Aki has way better options. And then the final thing, you're not going to see it in the unique attacks or anywhere. Her standing heavy kick or holding back heavy kick, because it's the same move as well, is a very, very good anti-air. Like, we're talking JP's Kane uppercut levels or Ryu's uppercut levels of anti-air. Sometimes it loses or trades with jump-ins, but more often than not, it will anti-air, and it's very good. So if you're not super good at inputting, I think it's quarter circle forward heavy punch for Serpent Lash straight up, the kick is definitely a viable alternative. It also kind of leads to a mix-up because they will flip out of it midair, right? They'll recover midair, which means they can do something immediately on landing, which means they don't get a knockdown, and they have to immediately deal with whatever you're about to throw out next, right? That changes on the situation. Some people will DP as soon as they land because they expect something. If you call that out, that's damage. A pretty commonly option I think I see the most is grab. So they land and you grab, throw break, that kind of stuff. Here lately, I really like forward heavy kick because it's forward hitting, does a lot of damage because it's heavy, and it's safe if they block, right? Alright, so what is Aki's game plan? Aki's probably the closest thing to, like, a jack of all trades. In, like, the most literal sense. Like, where Shoto's are supposed to be jack of all trades. Aki just feels like she can do everything. The biggest thing holding her back, honestly, like, you're never going to see Aki at the top of tier list. The biggest thing holding her back is that she doesn't have crouching medium kick drive rush. That's just such a powerful tool. Like, she has good drive rush pressure with her poison bubble and, drive rush in. She has the overhead. She has grab. So, immediately people have to think about what you're about to do. The poison puts a lot of pressure on lower rank opponents' mental. Because I think that just puts pressure in the back of your mind of like, oh, frick, I'm poisoned. I have to attack. I have to. I'm getting chipped away slowly. So if you're in the lower ranks and you poison somebody with Aki, be a little bit, be aware that you might get more aggression rather than like people turtling up. It's just, not everybody, but it's, especially in lower ranks, I find that a lot of people get poisoned and then become more aggressive. And some Akis aren't ready for that. Aki's probably closer to Rushdown than like traditional Shoto, because she has like the bypassing projectile moves. I certainly think Juri and even probably Cammy are more Rushdown than Aki is, and a lot of that has to do with a traditional fireball. But the lack of like a traditional DP and the weird stance, slither snake step thing, pull her back from being pure Rushdown and gives her like more options than a normal character might have. Aki's really good. I think Aki continues the trend of Street Fighter 6, kind of taking every character and making them feel like the definitive version of that character. The only character off the top of my head that I would argue maybe isn't that is maybe Lily. I don't know if Lily is supposed to be like a definitive version of T-Hawk, but I think T-Hawk plays a little differently. Maybe that's because he's slower than Lily is. Or maybe it's how low tier Lily is. I don't know. I think it's impressive they took a character in Fang that wasn't really liked on release, both personality and gameplay wise, and I think they have just completely knocked it out of the park. I think Aki's really fun to play. I think her personality's super interesting. I don't know if she becomes a regular. This is her first game. I don't know if she becomes a Juri-esque, regular in Street Fighter, but I hope so, because I think she's very interesting. And that's all I got for you this month. If you have a character you want to see, comment down below the game you want to see them from. Yeah, that's all I got. See ya.
Aki wins.
Man, it's another month in Shoto Fighter 6. As of recording, Ingrid has not come out yet, so maybe she'll completely turn the meta on its head. But as of this recording, when I'm recording the voice, the strongest character is Sagat, pretty much bar none. I thought Sagat was broken on release, and they buffed him, which was crazy to me personally. That was just crazy to me. I always thought Sagat was a problem. These Shotos, man, I don't know what they're doing with them. Because it's like, it's annoying because like there's no character loyalty with the Shotos, right? They don't care about Ryu or Ken or Akuma or Sagat. They don't care. They just play whatever's the best one, which is, hands up, that's fine, right? Play who you want. If your goal is to win and you're a loser, you're lame, you don't actually care, Shotos are right there for you. Right, they're an easy option. The skill set is super transferable. Like if somebody plays Ryu, they're probably really good at Akuma, like right off rip. They probably don't even need to hop into practice mode. They can probably put something together just right off rip. Sagat is supposed to be a little closer to a zoner because he has the high-low fireballs. His fireballs are faster. Because he has high-low fireballs, he doesn't have to wait for one to be off screen, so he can just kind of machine gun them. It's weird to think that when Street Fighter 6 came out and they showed off the parry system, everybody thought zoners would be dead, right? Because you can just parry the fireball. There's no chip, there's no, quote unquote, there's no pressure. But then the game comes out, and immediately the best character in the game is JP, who's a zoner. Guile has maintained like top 10, top 5 positioning with really no buffs or nerfs. I don't think he needs any buffs or nerfs, but he's kind of maintained top 5 position, top 10 position for most of the game's lifespan. All of the best characters in the game, barring some small spans of time, have had, well, let's be honest, they've been Shotos, right? Like, Akuma came out, he was really good. Ryu is still disgusting because of high damage and, like, no weaknesses. Ken was gross on release. What's his name? Luke was gross on release, but has largely fallen out of favor. Rashid is disgusting, although Rashid's not really a Shoto. He has a projectile, sure, but he's not a Shoto. He's like textbook rushdown. That guy's crazy. Terry, high damage. I don't know. There's a lot of debate on whether you consider Terry a Shoto. Gun to my head, you ask me? I'm saying Terry's a Shoto. I mean, he's got the fireball, he's got the DP, he's the main character of his game. Like, that's a Shoto, man. If it looks like a Shoto, smells like a Shoto, walks like a Shoto, that mother effer is a Shoto. The only thing that gives me pause is Burning Knuckle. And, what's it called? The move where he does, like, a somersault and then does, like, an axe kick. Because that's rushdown right there. Burning Knuckle and that's rushdown. Because that's Cammy's spiral arrow. You properly space it, it's safe, I'm in your face now, you gotta deal with me. That's rushdown. I understand not nerfing or buffing anything too much, because like Street Fighter is easily the most successful fighting game right now. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But I am, for the record, I might have said it before, I am very tired of fighting Ryu Akuma. I am very, very tired of fighting Ryu Akuma. But I mean, that's the way that it goes, I guess. Like, you can't, there's always going to be a meta, and you're always going to have people that play the meta. So like, let's say they buffed, I don't know, let's say they buffed Lily, and Lily was the best character in the game. I would be playing against a lot of Lilies. I would be playing against a lot of, for that, like, 1 month that Zangief was the strongest character in the game, I fought a lot of Zangiefs, and I hated every second of it, more than I hated the Ryu Akuma thing. But that's just the way that it goes, Yeah. Character, comment down below. Get out of here now!